Welcome to a video that I'm hoping is going to be a series called Worth a Buy, where I talk about new games, old games, and games that I'm generally playing. Today we're going to be looking at Sker Ritual, which is a zombie-esque Call of Duty Zombies game, which is basically a round-based survival, like I said, very similar to Call of Duty Zombies. So this video is going to be split into three sections: gameplay, performance, and my final verdict and my thoughts on the game. Feel free to jump into any section that you're most interested in by using the chapters in the description. One of the nice little additions to Sker is that there are 5 difficulties, and if your current choice is too easy, you can always choose a different one and, spice things up in your later runs, which kind of introduces a good replayability value once you complete the main storyline. From the very moment you dropped into one of the 4 maps, it's obvious that its inspiration is Call of Duty Zombies. It's a little bit more nightmarish. It's kind of similar to Kino, Der Toten from Black Ops 1, is the vibe I get. Just a little bit more horror and nightmarish looking. The map is broken into several different segments, but the main ones are the ground level and the underground. Your starting area is a destroyed church, when you can buy your starting perks, and you can get ready by choosing a different door and head up to different segments of the map. Another similarity with Call of Duty Zombies is the fact that when you play in solo, you get 1 free self-revive kit, which can make a huge difference in the early rounds. Your main objective is to complete the storyline. Much like COD Zombies, it's like a list of things and tasks you need to complete, whilst fending off the hordes of zombies that are attacking you each round. There's escort missions, puzzles, areas where you need to charge devices with zombie energy, and many more like it. Unlike COD Zombies, each step is clearly communicated to you via in-game markers with objective descriptions. It didn't take me long to complete the whole storyline on solo. Bear in mind though, I was playing on lower difficulty, so you can spice things up by going a little bit higher and making it a little bit more difficult for yourself. So let's get into the performance side of things. As you can clearly see from the gameplay, I'm getting quite high FPS. Just bear in mind that the specs I run are quite high. I have a 4090 with an i9, so it's not an issue running the game. However, I will say, as you can see from the 1% lows, that the hitches are quite plentiful. Even on a high-end CPU, you are gonna run into CPU bottlenecks, occasionally a GPU bottleneck, depending on what specs you're rocking. You can see the stats on screen right now. So the game is not super performant. The one annoyance that I have with games that are based on survival, especially round-based survival, is that every hitch matters. Every hitch might mean, the difference between life and death. So there is a huge annoyance with that. However, it does perform fairly well. It reminds me of sort of late Unreal Engine 3 games, early Unreal Engine 4 games. So it is not too bad in terms of the gameplay. You're not going to need any expensive specs to run it. You can see the stats on the screen. I'm going to let it run a little bit longer so you can kind of, see how much it hitches. So it's not great. I would say it's like a 7 out of 10. Playable, easy to run, however the hitches are plentiful, and I've not figured out a solution to fix it. Normally, to fix CPU starters, you'd increase the resolution and the settings to relieve the CPU bottleneck and make a GPU bottleneck. However, in this case, because the game is quite mild on the GPU, it's not really possible to do so. So the performance leaves a fair bit to be desired from. It is the early sort of days of this game. It's not been out for very long, so I would suspect that there will be updates to optimize down the line, but we don't know whether those updates are coming. So you put your money on this game today, and my verdict as of right now is that it leaves a fair bit to be desired. So yeah, it's like a 7, maybe 6.5 out of 10 in terms of performance. Sker Ritual is a genuinely fun game. I had fun playing it and playing through the story. It reminded me of the early days of playing Black Ops 1. The nostalgia kind of came in a little bit, even though it's not Call of Duty Zombies. It's fun, it's gory, it's very arcadey, and I can see a lot of potential with future maps, updates, events, new zombies, all that kind of stuff. But it also comes with the new game problems, which are it's kind of buggy a little bit. It's not as fluid as the refined Call of Duty engine is. The zombies don't feel as threatening, even higher difficulties, as they don't display much of a collision thing. They don't block you, so the threat of them cornering you isn't really there, which some might find a good thing. I personally find it like a less of a challenge. I also find that it's very simple in terms of mechanics. There's no nuance to the way you move and traverse the environment. It's very much touch and, you know, you go 100% speed. There's no skill per se, apart from just kind of going at it and just shooting zombies and getting away with outrageous things that you wouldn't normally get away with. So it's a lot easier, even in harder difficulties. So I would say it's like the early days of Call of Duty Zombies, and I really want to see it progress and add some nuance to the movement and the gameplay, but as I see right now, it's just not worth it quite yet for me. It's very simple and basic. I hate to compare this game to games like Roblox, but it does feel like a modern version of another game that tries to be Call of Duty Zombies. If you find it on sale, you know, maybe under $10, then I'd recommend it. However, at its current price, I paid $24.99 to play it. At its current price, it's just not worth it for me. I will be refunding this game and maybe coming back to it down the line when it's got more meat on the bones. It is fun. You can sink a few hours into it, especially if you play co-op, but for my money, it's just not there quite yet. So I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Would recommend it if it's cheaper, but it's just not there quite yet. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. These were my thoughts on Sker Ritual, and I hope to see you on the next one.